Quick husbandry video for the Phormictopus species purple. Anybody that follows me on Tom's Big Spiders or my YouTube channel knows that I love the Phormictopus genus. I'm currently trying to collect all of the species that are available, and it seems like in the last several months or so, a lot more species of Phormictopus have become available. I keep these like I would keep my Cancerides as slings. I give them quite a few inches of moist substrate to dig in. They will burrow, dig nice little burrows, and sometimes close them up when they're about to molt. As they get older, about 1.5 to 2 inches or so, they'll usually abandon the burrows and kind of stay right up on top. So when I rehouse them, I give them more of a terrestrial enclosure. If you notice, this one does have some space to dig, and she did, but more often than not, she's found right on top. I also don't worry so much about keeping the substrate moist as they get older. I found they do just as well in dry. I will moisten down a corner, and this one you'll notice there was a little water bowl in there. I've been using the deli cups. I'll take one here. I actually just plucked one out that was filled with some boluses. I got to do some cleaning on this one in a minute, and she went right at the tongs. So it'll be interesting trying to drop this one back in without having her get all riled up. Temperament-wise, these guys are known to be fairly feisty. I've lucked out in that I think I now have 15 or 16 individual Phormictopus different specimens, and the majority of them are pretty well behaved. They're a little flighty. They generally run rather than get defensive. They'll go to burrows if you disturb them, which is nice. I will say, out of all the ones I have right now, the 5 or 6 different, I'd have to count, different species of Phormictopus I keep, the purples seem to be the most high-strung. I've gotten several threat postures. I've been struck out a couple times by them, so they're a little bit of a handful. So for somebody who's not used to the larger terrestrial species that can be a little nastier, these might be intimidating because they can come right at you. But still, they're gorgeous species. With Cancerides, when the males mature, they tend to become purple. They're just a stunning spider. Supposedly with the species purples, all of them become some shade of purple. So I can't imagine having a big, giant purple spider. Purple's one of my favorite colors. So I'll admit the aesthetic appeal of this one is quite strong. I'm going to go ahead and try to feed this one, see if I can draw her out while I continue to talk. This is a species you want to keep a water dish in there with them, again, especially if you let the substrate dry out. It grows super fast. The one thing I've loved about all of the Phormictopus species is not only the amount of times and how often they molt, because they're pretty regular with their molts, but the amount of size they gain in between molts is astonishing. They start off, all of them, as little bluish, kind of bright bluish slings. They're little gorgeous little guys. And before long, you feed them enough and keep them in decent temperatures. Mine are kept usually to 70 to 76 during the winter, and 75, 76 or so to 80 during the summer. At those temps, these guys, you'll have a 1-inch sling before long, before a year, you'll have a big hairy spider on your hands. They really do put on size quickly. So I think for somebody that's an impatient keeper that doesn't feel like waiting the years that it could take in a Phonopelma species or a Brachypelma species to grow up, this is one for you. They're going to grow very quickly. The downside to that would be somebody that's not used to having this type of spider. You don't get much time to adjust to the growth, meaning that in some species you've got years where they're going to be just little slings, little juveniles. With these, they seem to go right from sling stage to juvenile stage. The next thing you know, you got something that would be an adult size for other species. So again, fast growing spider, great feeding response. Love feeding these guys. Hopefully I'm going to draw this one out because these guys have been a little skittish lately. But ones that will just really attack the prey with a vengeance. It's fantastic to watch. Some of my first videos I put on YouTube were actually feeding videos for Phormictopus Cancerides, which was the first Phormictopus species I had, just because I enjoyed watching them hunt so much. They just stalk the prey and go at it. So I'm going to drop a crick in here and see if I can lure her out. Hopefully she doesn't go bolting. Bear with me here. And there we go. Now this is one that usually I drop the cricket and it's not in there for 2 seconds and she grabs it. So of course we're going to do something a little different this time. She'll probably grab it once it goes into her den. So I'll try to get a view of that, although this little booger is going to go in the back door. No. Just going to get the cover of this ready, because last thing we want is the spider getting out. This is one that I recently sexed a female. Very excited about that. I always buy my spiders as I thought I actually accidentally stopped the video there. I always buy my spiders 3 at a time when I buy a species to kind of increase the odds of getting a female. I did the same with these, and so far it looks like I have 2 females and 1 male, which would be fantastic. If she doesn't go for this thing pretty quickly, I'm going to close it up, because again, I love making these videos, but I'm a big fan of not disturbing my spiders. I know a lot of people and a lot of the videos out there, they'll prod them, they'll poke them. You're not going to find that in mine, and unfortunately, some of them might not be the most thrilling videos in the world, and I apologize for that, but my goal is to make ones that are informative and educational and doing it without messing up my tarantulas or putting them in a bad spot. Nope, let's see, here we go. Nope, she's going to bolt, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this up. And of course, as I cover it up, she grabs it and comes out. Unbelievable. So let me just poke this open a minute and see if we can get her. Here she is doing her little victory dance. And here she is looking up at me like, dude, you better close this thing pretty quick because I'm trying to eat. I'm going to drop one more in and see if I can't get her to jump on it. These things I feed these a lot. I usually feed them 3 or 4 large crickets a week at least, as far as a feeding schedule. As slings, I fed them, generally speaking, usually 3 times a week. I like to get them out of that sling stage as fast as possible. With these guys, 3 times a week, they're going to molt every month and a half or so. All right, here we go. I'm going to drop this in. Boop. And, of course, the cricket's going to get away. Nope, there we go. Let's see if I'll grab this one. It's coming up behind you, girl. There we go. And of course she's completely ignoring it. Give her one more shot. I don't want this to be a gigantically long video. Yeah, she's too caught up in her current capture that she's not really paying attention to this other one. I'm just going to close this one up and leave it alone. This one will be getting rehoused pretty soon. Right now, I have her in one of the Sterlite stackable ones with the green handles. If you look here, I think it's about 7 quarts, 7.2 quarts. She's going to be getting a much larger enclosure. It's going to be more about that size right there. Also made by Sterlite. Here, I'll turn on the light. She'll be getting one of those, which is great for the larger terrestrials. And then if she gets up to around 8 inches in size, she'll get something even bigger. But that'll be it for the time being until she gets much larger. So there we got Phormictopus species purple. Again, I wish I could have gotten more thrilling feeding response, but nope.